Hey, how's it going? I I had a skip day yesterday. I don't know if you noticed, anyone that watches here, but I was under the impression that I was not going to have service as of today. And so things have just been loading really slowly. And so I didn't record and upload anything yesterday because I thought I'm not gonna have service after tonight. I don't know. There was some confusion, but I'm here. So I pulled a total of 3 cards, and I forgot something. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hi, yeah. So I forgot the part from the guidebook about the card I pulled. So anyway, first, before I get rambling further, have a look at my signs for a moment. Okay. Oh, come on. Ouch. I bit my tongue. So yeah, the skip day though, it was a good thing that I did that because I had myself in the mindset of I'm not gonna have media, communications, anything because of that's where I have all of my stuff in a bundle like an idiot. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do something about that so this doesn't happen again. Anyway, when I was under the impression that it was all gonna end, I was like, I gotta change the mindset. And I don't know exactly why I just did my drunk voice, but I can tell you that I've had some time to prepare myself for the eventuality of having no phone, internet, television, whatever media thing. Pardon me. Sometimes when you tune in, your nose starts running and things. When I say you, I mean me. So I'm sorry. I'm not like picking my nose. I'm not picking my nose. It's like tingling and trying to run and stuff like that. But God, I can't even get it together to get this paragraph out. Nothing written, just what's in here in the little brain. I was preparing myself to have nothing, after years and years and years of, I've never had a service interruption of anything ever, so that's making me feel strange. And then just making the adjustment, like, what am I gonna do with with myself? I have plenty to do, and it's almost like a stages of death thing, because at first I was like, oh my God, I can't pay my bill until, like, I can pay it eventually, in like 2 weeks. So right? It's not that big of a drama. But seriously, what would you do if, like, I don't go out to clock into a job anywhere. I have an occasional medical appointment, but I'm not actively, like, with broken bones sticking out and spurting blood, so I'm generally home a lot is what I'm saying. And I haven't been doing it lately because of camera issues, and it's kind of like just getting the one thing that I'm trying to do right now out is kind of, I don't know, it's like really taking a lot out of me or something. But it's hard to have the energy to do another video after. But it could be done, but like I said, there's camera issues, so I'm like happy if I get one out for the moment. But So, I have been like getting my mind set for one thing, and then I get another grace period because I realized I have to call these people and say, you can't leave me with like no phone. You gotta at least leave me landline in case I fall and I can't get up. And I'm laughing, but that has happened, and bones broke, and like I can't be falling. I need, just in case, I need to have phones. So I was able to convince them of that, and they're like, we'll give you 4 more days. So be careful. Yeah, but it's 4 more days less than I would have to have with like no service of anything. And mainly what I'm afraid of is not being unable to access emergency services, but not having like all of the stuff that I usually fill my brain and eyes and ears with. Like, it's just gonna be strange. It's like going cold turkey, because yeah, I mean, it is like, if not an addiction, just like a routine, that it's just what you do. And then all of a sudden, well, it's like when life is normal and then there's like a giant earthquake or something that just literally breaks your building in half and causes all kinds of destruction. You don't have time to think about what's ahead the way I'm having the lead time to prepare. You're just like, you're one way, and then your situation has just completely changed. Nervous laughter. But so then I realized today, oh, well, shoot, I can go ahead and record again. And I was like, oh, I should do it early, but I just felt kind of blank. Like, I pulled my cards and I was like, I got nothing. Well, I didn't get nothing, actually. That's not true. I got one thing that stood out, which I will mention when I actually get started with the cards. I'm trying to say right now that I just feel like scattered. Like, I can't collect my thoughts to, I don't know what I'm going for here, is what I'm saying. But and usually I wait till later than now, but I don't feel like waiting until later because I want to shift to a different room and do something else, and I'm like set up in here to do this, and I want to do it before it's too late. So here I go. Boy, that must have been so boring for you. I'm sorry. Okay, so I pulled one card from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. And, God, come on. Make me look like I'm picking my nose. And it was Closing Door Completion, number 5. So this was the card that I picked up, and I saw that. I mean, I've seen the card before. I was gonna say obviously, but why would that be obvious to you? I haven't pulled every card in the deck, but when I got the deck, when I get any deck, I look at all the cards, so I have seen it. I think I pulled it once before. But when I, when it whatever, it fell on my hand or whatever it did, I like picked it up and looked at it, and I saw Closing Door, and I just saw a door closing, like door, like, you ever do that thing with a mirror and you get that illusion where you like one mirror and looking into the other mirror, and it's just like the image repeats itself ad infinitum? It was kind of like that door closing repetition situation. And I was like, okay, well, that's kind of an obvious one. Completion. Hold on. Okay, so I just felt like I needed to pull this card because it's the 9 of Cups, and it's the the regular tarot. The Rider-Waite style is what I have. It's not an actual deck by that name, but this I've come to know as completion. There's 4 suites of these cards. This is the cups, obviously, and then there's swords, wands, and pentacles. And I feel like, for what I'm thinking of right now, is it's connected to completion. So 10 of cups is like, jackpot, end of the rainbow, all things you desire come to be. And I'm just gonna sort of ignore the person in the image here because it's not projecting. Well, I don't know. I was gonna say it's not projecting what I'm talking about, because I was gonna say it looks really, like, I don't know. I thought it looked smug in a way that I'm not feeling. But then when I looked at it, and what I want to go on to say is he's satisfied. And what I was going to go on to say is that rather than pulling like all 4 nines of the suites in the deck, I pulled this one because I feel like it kind of represents the overall, like all 4 suites in one, like all of those facets of the nearing completion, like just teetering on the edge of it. And so I was hoping that I would feel like pulling another card to add to the one that I pulled, and I actually pulled some just for my own purposes earlier, but after I pulled the 9, it was like I remembered that I had pulled this one earlier, and it is, obviously like waiting for your ship to come in, your final cup. So I don't know, I guess this has that 9 energy too. These wands have sort of suspended and stopped going anywhere because, I don't know, wait for that ship with the 10th wand. I'm not sure. So I'm going to read from the guidebook quickly. Well, I'll do that at regular speed so I don't sound like a nut. So I'll sound less like a nut. Closing door. Endings. Completion. Your greater calling. When the closing door shows up, it's a call to recognize an ending, to terminate a relationship, job, task, or simulation, or situation. Simulation. Pin that. Situation that has been dragging on far too long. I could say stuff. Unlock the cage you've been trapped in and shut the door behind you. This is not the time to worry about what others might think or feel. When is it ever? I mean, you get to a point finally when it's like, what matters more to you? Like what people think or what you want to go ahead and think, and not even worry about that and let it affect what you think. That is not a straight road, or it wasn't for me. Because if it had been, I would have been, well, that quickest route from A to B. Anyway. Instead, this is not the time to worry about what others might think or feel. Instead, break with routine. Consider what you think and how you feel, and be true to your heart's calling. I think that's what I was basically ranting about just now. It's time to walk out the door. If you do not see a door, but only a solid wall in front of you, ask for assistance. Muster the courage to say, "No more." Is that how you ask for stuff? No more wall in my way. I guess I'm just stuck on Flash. Again, I'm going to talk about that movie. Well, not necessarily the movie, but the character. Because when the Flash is occasionally boxed in, if you will, by walls, one of his powers is the ability to vibrate. And I believe in one episode they literally talk about vibrating at the right frequency to move between atoms. I love that. So that is what I'm thinking of, is like, if you do not see a door but only a solid wall in front of you, ask for assistance. Flash had to ask for assistance. He had seen it done, the ability to phase through a solid object, but he didn't really have like the blueprint for doing it, so he did have to ask at one point. I believe it was, oh man, I can't remember his name. It's like the Flash that looks like his father, but he's from another Earth, a different universe, but they're similar and aware of each other. I'm talking about the CW Flash with Grant Gustin and Jesse L. Martin and all of the other people. Those two names should get you in the door. CW version of Flash. Remember as well that no one else that needs to be Remember as well that no one else needs to be wrong. Oh, that was hard to get out. In order for you to do what you've known you needed to do for a long time. Well, that's not assistance. That's like drowning and then causing the person that's saving you to drown and then you survive. That's kind of a brutal image, but if the door to a project or relationship has been closed to you, stop knocking on it. You've tried that already and no one answered, at least not in the way you would have liked. Who has not gone through that? It's not always just about you. Sometimes that's why stuff don't happen the way that we want it to, because other forces are at work that know better. How many of us leave a relationship or job after we knew it was time to move on? Well, after we knew it was time to move on. Well, as far as a job is concerned, when I know it's time to go, boy, is it painful to stay until you find that next opportunity, or you just can't stand it anymore and you're willing to just be out there without a net for a while and hope that, you know, you find your next opportunity before what you paid for runs out. Because that's a bracing situation I've had to experience a number of times. It's not really the situation I have here at all, thank God. I mean, I'm glad to have the knowledge that while I'm reading a book, because I don't have internet to watch television or cable, whatever, I have books. I do have the ability to turn on the light. Like I said, I got stuff to do. I just have to, you know, rework those wrinkles in my brain so that they remember how to do non-electrical based activity. I have dictionaries and stuff too. Anyway, it is keeping you from your greater calling. That would be wallowing. Oh, I did skip a sentence there. How many of us leave a relationship or job years after we knew it was time to move on? Stop wallowing in the pain and lingering on the reasons why things did not work. It is keeping you from your greater calling. Well, I think, I mean, I've talked about that before. Like, just letting those attachments sit, like, in the middle of your path or behind you or just all around you, so that it makes it hard to navigate, particularly forward, because you got to get through these protrusions in the road that are just like, maybe like a video game to just pop up randomly in front of you. Like, you get around one and you think you got a clear path and boop, there comes another one. Bow deeply before that closed door, give thanks to the lessons, and set yourself free. Well, if you're gonna bow while you're boxed in by walls, You better be able to vibrate so you don't bump your head. I don't know how useful that comment is. So here, I read some, I pulled some other cards. Maybe this will be better for, I'm not finished, so I don't know really yet where this is going. So I pulled 2 other cards from this here Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. And the first one I pulled was Horsey, which I think is funny because I was out today, and that's another thing. That's why I was rambling at the beginning. This is part of what I wanted to talk about that I forgot. I haven't been out for days because, well, first it was because of my shoulder that acts up pretty, pretty badly, painfully, pain-wise some days, and I'm looking at my tricycle. And my back acted up while I was out last time, and I did something to it then. So I've just been kind of recuperating against my will. Like, I would rather just be able to go out and not be hurt. But I mean, I've abused my body for years with physical jobs and activities, and fall in like recreational pursuits where I've just basically eaten shit a bunch of times. I put my body through it, so it happens. But anyway, I was out, and the other reason I was trapped inside was I could have gone out many times, and I dressed and went to go get on the thing and go, and then like raised up my arm and moved some way, and I was like, oh, you know what, if it hurts this bad right now, it's probably a really bad idea to go. And then it was like I would have that experience and be all bummed and go sit outside on my deck and discover it's raining. So you could have gone anyway, or I could have gone anyway. I mean, I could have, but I need to rainproof my machine, so I haven't gone. I mean, I've been going like once every 4 days lately because of the rain or the pain. The rain and pain have kept me indoors and made me kind of insane. So it was good to get out. But back to the horse. I was talking to someone earlier and describing being out finally and feeling so good. Like, even my cat has been trapped inside with me. And I know that dude, he was out like all day. I didn't hear from him. I fed him in the morning. He was gone. He's been like my shadow for the past couple of weeks. And he was like, oh, it's sunny, it's not raining. He was gone. He's back home now. He's all passed out sleeping because I think he played so hard. Anyway, I was just so friggin' happy to be outside. And I'm like big on inhaling there's a lot of cedar trees around here, and cedar is one of my favorite scents. So when it's hot or when it rains, for some reason the scent of them is exaggerated, accelerated, something, but it becomes more, and it's on the air, and it's like today it was cloudy, but like a little bit of sprinkles were happening here and there, and there was, if not a breeze, full-on wind. So it was blustery. That is the word I'm looking for. So the scent was everywhere. It smelled great out. Until I went, like, unless you went by a vehicle with a combustion engine, those kind of ruined it for a second, because again it was blustery, so it was a minor irritation. But I was talking to my friend about how great it was when I was out, and I said even the smell of horse poop, which I'm not sure where it comes from, unless it's just people actually out around riding horses, which I'll see occasionally, like a couple or a person just out on the street riding a horse. It's a little incongruous, but I like it. But anyway, there's not like a stable or a home in my immediate area, which is as far as I can go on this tricycle, which means if there's not a sidewalk, I'm not going down that road. And all of the roads, except for when you turn into a side street, which is just houses, are like truck city and like boulevards, so they can be busy and, you know, not horse conducive really. But sometimes I'll be out there and I swear to God I'll get a full-on horse poop, like a fresh pile smell. And it's poop, you know, but it's a cleaner, more vegetal type thing than human or like dog poop or something like that. Or, you know, I don't know why. I guess if you just eat pretty much alfalfa and hay and oats and carrots and things, that's a pretty clean diet. And water. The horse diet, try it. Sorry, getting sidetracked. Let's see what it says about the horse in this guidebook. Momentum, freedom, expansive energy, and force. The horse represents the most masterful form of earth energy within the deck. Well, its poop is certainly earthy. It provides us with the momentum, so reliable, so supportive, that you can ride on its back toward any goal, no matter how difficult the terrain. A horse personality is fully awakened, fully alive, and cannot be defeated. The horse's freedom becomes available to us when we hone and collect our energy through daily practice, physical stamina, exercise, and mental focus, meditation. Those two are my jam. Like, every daily I can do it. And they are the secret weapons behind the horse's legacy. Oh, horses meditating. I mean, I've meditated on images of horses running around and drinking and doing horse stuff with other horses. I never really thought about them meditating, but, you know, they don't have all the electronic distractions, for one thing. They can hardly use them. They are not built for people with no thumbs. But I would imagine running out on the prairie, even if you're in a whole group of other horses, the clopping and the rhythm of the movement and just the whole experience of running is, I guess, meditative. I haven't run for years. Shut up. I have my reasons. Running was painful. Anyway, I did pull a second card from the same deck, and I pulled Dragonfly. This is a representation of freedom to me, as well as a horse, but this first because nothing flies like one of these things, one of these animals or insects, and it's just the most amazing thing to look at. Like the maneuvering capability, I'm sure, I don't know, it's terrible. I always think of like helicopters in the military, but they would love to have that maneuverability and speed and just intuitive, like, I mean, these ride air currents. They can fly, but I mean, like, spiders can travel from space to space where there's like not an object to grab onto, but they can get like electrical and air currents or electrical magnetic things that they can ride, and I guess match that vibration to the spiders. Like, I'm not real clear on the mechanics of that. I think it's just mind-blowing. These little guys, it's a bug, and it can do that. I think we discount, like, how vastly amazing they are. And okay, so that was a spider. These guys, the way they fly, though, I mean, I'm like moving it around like it is one. I love them. Can you tell? Let me read about them. Master of light, illusion, and the mind. Okay, calm down, me. The dragonfly is an ancient and ethereal creature that awakens a sense of wonder in all. The dragonfly is a symbol of the mind as it is always. Oh, the dragonfly is a symbol of the mind as it is always moving, shifting, shimmering, and changing. Word. When the dragonfly card appears, it's worth considering the quality of your mind and perception. Are they restless or still? Dreamlike or crystal clear? The situation at hand may be different than it appears at first glance. The dragonfly reminds us to calm the mind and the light of wisdom. Oh, the dragonfly reminds us to calm the mind so the light of wisdom can shine through. I think I need to take a drink. It's just water. When in balance, sees clearly. Joyful, magical. When out of balance, can't concentrate, busy mind. To bring it to balance, focus on the breath. See, I stumbled over that because I was in a hurry to finish the sentence, because it feels like some of this was what I was talking about, how the skip day of recording and uploading a video, like I got all scattered and discombobulated. I sort of got a little more cohesive for this. You're welcome. Oh. What? Okay, yeah, here it is. When the dragonfly card appears, this is the part that felt like it was what I was talking about. It's worth considering the quality of your mind and perception. Are they restless or still? Dreamlike or crystal clear? I couldn't put my finger on it because it kept darting around and moving. And I mean, that reminds me of another conversation I had recently where I was talking about how erratic I've been feeling, and I'm realizing more and more things. Like the other day I remembered something that I did to someone that was completely uncool, really, and I hadn't really considered that other person's feelings, like, and it was years ago, so it's like takes a little while sometimes for things to fall into place, and it's an important thing, and it would have been better if I had realized it at the time and could have, made the realization and then gone in and said to the person, oh, I'm sorry, I really screwed up when I did that thing. Sorry. I missed that opportunity, but the realization is still good to have made. So, I was thinking about how when I moved here, I started instinctively picking up these stones, and I've talked about this before, they were not special, they're not particularly pretty, they're pretty dull and innocuous looking things. They're gray, they're pitted, they have I don't know, it looks like what would happen when the substance of the stone itself were sort of hot and melty, and it just sort of folded, and it would just leave a line. You see how that makes a line, like when you close your finger and it makes a line there, when you know what I'm saying, it just gets squished together by pressure and creates a line. So they have those on them, and I've always picked up cool looking rocks and just you know, put them in my pocket to look at later. And I kept grabbing these same stones, and I ended up with a whole bunch of them, like 20 probably, and had them just around the house, and I just was liking them, and I kind of was like, I don't know why I'm liking these, but, you know, whatever, they're harmless. So then I think it was probably a couple of weeks later, I came across a video that started talking about these stones, these very stones, and that they magnify well, they would. It's hard. Can't think of a word to describe exactly what they do, but they do something. But they help me be able to like filter like energy that I'm sort of collecting empathically, and it was like, oh, okay, so now it makes sense why I was picking those up, because you have to have them like in your area around you, and so you can tune to each other and then work together to diffuse energy, transmute negative energy. That's the ticket. You can work together with these particular stones if you're attuned to them. And I was like, okay, I want to do that. So the thing is that usually I'm just on my own, and it's like a cat that I'm spending most time socially with. So if you've ever lived with a cat and you have one-on-one time with them, you will notice that the way you act, they will react in a way that'll let you know that they do like it or they do not like it. And they have a way of looking at you and letting you know, like, you done fucked up. It's so funny. So, I mean, cats have always kind of been my barometer, but behaving with a cat is different from behaving with a human. And I've discovered I've sort of more human activity socially than I have in the past, and I didn't realize that on top of like processing this transmutation stuff, it could make me act a little squirrely. And this is not to say that I didn't have the propensity to be squirrely all on my own, but it is to say I didn't need any help with it. So I'm discovering, like, people are not the same type of barometer as a cat to my emotional wild-hairedness. So I'm learning and discovering, like, whoa, pull it back. Like, no one understands what the hell that is that you're doing. Is the best way that I care to describe what I'm thinking of. However, I am fortunate enough that the person that I have been interacting with the most, that has been experiencing the most of, I mean, I feel like it's not normal-ish behavior, but I don't really know. Like I said, I've been hanging out with a cat. So, well, kind of, I have said, I'm feral socially, Feral, like a cat. So, more transitions and adjustments that I've been having to make. But I realized that the thing with the stones, like, I'm still me. I'm always the person that I have always been. But the stones do make, I'm seeing my emotional features a little bit more amplified or elevated or charged or all of the above. And so, because the person I'm talking to doesn't just like run outside when I get all intense, they're still there talking to you, like expecting you to interact like a normal person. So I'm having to work on that. Ow. It's great. It's fun. Seriously, it is, most of the time. And then there's times where it's not, but that's more about me taking it there inside of myself. Like, um, I'd say the worst part of it, which is my own perception that it's worse. Um, I'm hopefully not getting it too much on other people, is what I'm trying to say. But the person that gets it the most is very tolerant, and I'm so grateful for that because, when you meet people that you like and get along with, you don't want to run them off. And when I say you, I mean me. I don't want to run people off because cats are not great conversationalists. There's a lot of, you gotta like divine the subtleties and get on the cat's level or something. Cats is cat people, not people. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. I love a good cat. I've babbled enough. What's my time here? Oh, yes, I've certainly babbled enough. Thank you and good night.